two sides then seeking their first win of the season. Two sides whose stars seem to be in the same orbit. They've been drawn so often together in cup competitions in recent years, and if you think back way back to '76 when Southampton had their famous cup win over Manchester United by 1-0 with that Bobby Stokes goal. Again, Moncal beats Dublin in the air. Made a good start, Moncal. Here's Benali. For Manchester United. United with a lot of men breaking forward here. One of them is Hughes, another one of is McClare, and just as well Tim Flowers was out quickly. Good goalkeeping and a good move from United too, and McClare is down injured.
Oh, that's great football, wasn't it, from Manchester United? Just what I said, they've got to be patient, they've got to look to pass it around and move these centre-backs, and that was a sweet move.
Alistair wins it. Creating too much. Ferguson is forced backwards. Schmeichel hoists it up into the clouds. Giggs, can somebody get it down? This is a good bit of play by Giggs. Moncal's there and got a very important touch. Now was that a deliberate back pass? Referee says yes by Moncal. Very interesting situation, and it will mean an indirect free kick to Manchester United.
You see, that's when I think good defending is punished, and it really is punished. It's a great run from Ryan Giggs, but Kenny Moncala recovers brilliantly, and I think he's been punished for a great piece of defending.
So, what will Manchester United do? The referee is going to make sure they don't encroach. They certainly do, and now Flowers, I think, is going to get booked for that. Yes, he is.
You trying to tell me this makes the game better?
Well, there is, I must admit, an element of farce about that. I couldn't agree with you more, Andy, having said last week that I thought in general terms it kept the game flowing. You're quite right, Ken Moncal there was penalised for what was an excellent piece of defending.
I mean, we've had a longer stop here than we would have in the whole of the game.
And I think we're going to get another booking. Oh, is he talking to Irwin and McClare?
Well, what happened there? The referee blew his whistle, and I think what he's saying there is you delayed it. When I blow the whistle, you take the free kick. But to be fair, that's right. He blows the whistle to signal he's ready. And it's up to Brian McClare.
Now, is Ince off the line? And I think it was Moncal, ironically enough, who got it away. Well, I suppose there was a kind of poetic justice in the end. Good ball from Ferguson for Giggs. And then McClare. Is Giggs quick enough? I think he is, you know. Dublin's in the middle. United could get something here, but Moore read it. United still. Ince and Hughes, but a very, very good piece of defending.
Oh, that's brilliant. Mickey Adams, I think it was, that got back in there and just got his left foot to the ball. But that, Ryan Giggs at his very best, wasn't it? Mickey Adams knows there's almost a certain goal on if he hadn't been there.
There's the Manchester United bench. You can hardly see the players through the rain there, can you? Danny Wallace in the background, hoping to get on against his old club. Moncal hooking it forward. Irwin, who's played well for Manchester United so far. Here he is again, former Oldham defender. Ken Moncal, he's been much involved, Andy, isn't he?
Well, I suggest that shows you the amount of play that Manchester United have had, though. Seems a good little competitor as well, Darren Ferguson. Likes to play a bit, but has also shown that he's quite happy to mix it if somebody else wants to.
Done well, and here on the far post was Adams. Schmeichel didn't hang on to it, and luckily it drops for Phelan as far as Manchester United are concerned. Dublin. That's a good ball. Very good ball from Dublin. His best touch yet. Fine Giggs, who looks to spread it again, are on a broad canvas from United, and Hughes. Now that would have been a superb goal. They were really painting the picture there.
Well, two great passes. First one from Dion Dublin, second one from Ryan Giggs. Hughes controls it brilliantly, but just gets underneath it slightly.
There's Ian Brandfoot on the bench there, on the left of your picture. Southampton manager in his second season here now. Of course, it did look as if Southampton were going to go down for a long time last year, but they pulled themselves out of trouble and finished 16th in the end, thanks to a 9-game unbeaten run. Did incur the wrath of referees, it has to be said, along the way, once or twice, but a clean sheet so far tonight. Now then, here's Giggs yet again. Ferguson, it goes a long way, drops to McClare, and well saved by Tim Flowers, who was down well. Good, solid keeper, and very consistent.
Again, it's Giggs, isn't it, who starts out. Cross isn't brilliant, it's behind the United attackers, but that save quite comfortable for Tim Flowers.
The idea was right from Benali, but not the execution. It goes to the opposite number 3, Irwin, but he only finds Herlock of Southampton. Here's Jeff Kenner. And Dixon, is he onside? He is, and Dixon! Well, that was close to being his first ever goal for Southampton.
And Gary Pallister's furious, actually. He's on at the linesman, looking for a free kick, looking for offside, but I think the linesman was probably quite right. At one point, they did look offside, but Kerry Dixon, what was it, made the run. But that was a little bit closer than that picture suggests.
McClare. Dion Dublin. In again. Now what can United make of this one? Oh, it deflected off Moore and might easily have gone in, but over the bar, and Southampton survive.
Well, they're getting them in for fun now, aren't they? Great ball. Jeff Kennett's too narrow there. There's no way he can cover Ryan Giggs from that position. He puts in probably the best ball of the evening that he's delivered, but they get away with it.
So Manchester United with the corner, Ryan Giggs to take it. And it goes, and the header from McClare, and offside anyway.
But that's a better example of when you get a header down from a corner, people are attacking the ball in, how you have to have others. Gary Pallister attacks it, but Brian McClare knows the general area it's going into, and that's what you have to do.
Offside anyway. Tim Flowers, of course, who was the hero of that penalty shootout between these two sides in the FA Cup 4th round replay last season, when he ran the length of the pitch by way of celebration.
He's never recovered from that.
Sheer adrenaline took him there, didn't it? Ian Brownfoot will be looking for a bit more by way of attacking edge on his side in this second half. He created precious little in the first, apart from that rather natty volley from Kerry Dixon towards half-time. Now, Kenner. Dixon can pull that back almost. Schmeichel dropped it, and it was hooked away in the end by Bruce, I think it was.
Well, they haven't looked a threat, have they, at any time during the game? If you get shots on target, goalkeepers are going to have difficulty holding them. Peter Schmeichel certainly does, but he's saved with some good defending.
Pallister wins it in the air this time. Dublin heads it down neatly for Phelan. Hughes. McClare. Ferguson was breaking forward in the middle. Now Ince. Oh, and here's Darren Ferguson with a chance for his first goal for United. And Flowers got his fingertips to it. Well, 20-year-old Darren almost came up trumps for Dad then.
This is a fine save from Tim Flowers. Look, just does enough. I think Alex Ferguson will at the end of the game, if it stays 0-0, will be disappointed at his side with all the play they've had, having gone on and won the game.
Pallister taking the ball out of harm's way. That's good defensive work from United. The defenders combining well until Pallister's given it away, though, to David Lee. Will they be made to pay for that late on? It was a bit of an uncharacteristically careless piece of work by Pallister, who hasn't quite settled into that form of last year yet this season, and I'm sure he'd be the first to admit it. Looks a bit frustrated with himself. And Southampton get a corner as a result of this. There's Moore going in there. He almost made contact. Dublin got it away in the end. In comes the cross again. Moncal's in there. Good punch from Schmeichel. And then Lee with something speculative. Very speculative, as it turned out.
Bit ambitious that. They did have players over on this side. Glenn Cockrell totally free. David Speedy. And David Lee just a little bit of rush of blood there attempting that. He's got time, he's got space. A little bit rushed.
2 minutes remaining. Here's Hughes trying to break onto this one. Flowers gets there first. He had to.
Can't be United's throw.
Well, they certainly didn't alter it.
Well, Tim Flowers just came out and smashed it against Mark Hughes. But both officials were there, both in agreement.
It was a bit odd, wasn't it? United free kick. Now Ferguson can in-swing this, naturally left-footed player. Young man who had 3 operations last year. That's what kept him out of contention. And here he is with the free kick. Darren Ferguson, Pallister up there as well. Drops his Dublin with the goal for Manchester United. Well, right at the death. Dion Dublin, the £1 million man, starts to repay the fee. Southampton are devastated, but it's Manchester United delight and it's Dublin delight.
Well, they get a little bit of luck, don't they? But who's to say they don't deserve it? Tim Flowers absolutely distraught. But watch as it comes in. I think it's Gary Pallister who gets a little touch on it there. Hits Brian McClare on the shoulder, but he couldn't have placed it any better to Dion Dublin, could he?
Dion Dublin, who's had to sit and wait his chance on the substitutes bench, in the team from the start and getting the goal, and Alex Ferguson will feel that at last Manchester United have had a break in their favour this season. And here's Dublin again. He's not going to get another one, is he?
It's just a little pity a goal didn't come earlier in the game as a spectacle, isn't it? He's fired up now, isn't he?
And I think they're going to go home feeling pretty wet and miserable as they go to all destinations around the Solent. A rainy night. They must have thought they were going to see their side pick up a point, but it looks like United have stolen this. We're into injury time now.
I can't remember much injury time this half either.
I'll tell you what, there goes the final whistle. It is all over, and Dion Dublin is the man who will corner the market in newspaper headlines tomorrow morning, because he's marked his full debut for Manchester United with a late winner. Hard on Southampton, who hustled and battled back pretty well in the second half. But Alex Ferguson, who was saying that his side, well, every time they've made a mistake, they've been punished this season. They needed a break. They got it tonight in the end.